speed coding is you might sit down with somebody and say, tell me what kind of car you drive. Are you somebody who is cluttered, or is everything put away? How important is you ask questions, and those questions start to show you the values of what's more important to you. Do you follow the rules, or are rules meant to be? And let them tell you, are they meant to be followed or broken? Broken means they're action. They're like, go, I'll bend them a bit. Followed means they're more likely blueprint.
Welcome to the Manage Self, Lead Others Leadership podcast with Nina Sunday for experienced and aspiring people managers. This show will help you explore ways to become a more intentional leader. Each episode, host Nina Sunday speaks with some of the brightest business minds on the planet who share a passion to elevate and transform team culture. Workplace culture hides in plain sight. Is yours flourishing? Join the movement to make your workplace a better place to work. Are you ready? Because it's time to manage self, lead others.
With a BA in architecture from Iowa State University, Susan Younger has a background in corporate retail architecture, store design, and project management. A certified B.A.N.K trainer and coach, Susan Younger is also a C-Suite Network Thought Council leader, and it's through the C-Suite Network how we met after I joined over 2 years ago. Working with the B.A.N.K personality profiling methodology, Susan uses this simple tool to help businesses improve sales, communication, and teamwork. Welcome, Susan Younger.
So B.A.N.K was created as a decision-making analysis. It was created as a sales tool. And what we've discovered over the 20 years of really working with it is that every decision, be it any decision in life, is the same as a sales decision. It's an influencing others, influencing even yourself on why you do something. So whether it's inviting somebody to your house to share a meal with you, and the kids to eat dinner at night, or negotiating a big $1 million deal, you are still influencing others and trying to do it through languaging that they will connect with in a positive way, that they feel seen and heard. Yeah. And that's the beauty of B.A.N.K code, is it's about that decision-making process. And what I love about it is it layers in with every single other one. When people go, well, I'm already using DISC or Myers-Briggs or Strength Finders. It's like, yes, those are beautiful. They all do something different. So we say it's alike, only completely different.
I'm wondering if the listener or viewer might like to go get their own B.A.N.K results. It only takes 90 seconds.
So if they go to, it's the HTTPS, the colon, the 2 slashes, crackmycode is one word, .com/get results.
Excellent. And
that'll pull up a page and it'll show the 4 cards. And I've got the 4 cards here.
And it's a cluster of values and attributes and qualities, and people automatically see the cluster and the pattern, and they go, yeah, that pattern is my first pattern, that one's my second, and it's very easy to just work out, to rate them in order of priority.
And they drop and drag into the 1, 2, 3, 4 slots.
Yeah.
What happens is occasionally somebody doesn't do that, and it automatically comes up as B.A.N.K, the B.A.N.K.
Oh, right.
And when that happens, I know there are people that is their code, but sometimes it's people I've met and I know that isn't them. And I'm like, did you forget to drag them? Oh, I needed to do that. That's kind of, for me, the fun of it. And
I thought it was pretty obvious you drag and drop.
Yeah, but it's still amazing.
Depends what device you were on when you were looking at it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So can we just backtrack a little?
Absolutely.
Because you're an expert in B.A.N.K and B.A.N.K code, and the thing is, there are 2 reasons to people read in my book. It's like to better interpersonal communication and teamwork, and also better people reading, which leads to increasing sales. Yeah, and I think B.A.N.K code has a bit of an interest in biology, which is the psychology of why people buy, as in biology, not biology. And so it converts psychology into biology. And so it's scientifically validated. That's what I'm trying to get to. How is it scientifically validated?
In 2016, San Francisco State did an entire white paper study, and they took the I don't remember exactly which version of a Mercedes car, but they took the script that Mercedes had written, and they actually had Sherry Tree, that created the program, rewrite the scripts based on the codes as she saw them. And they went through a whole series of people cracking their code and then reading these 4 scripts to see which one they liked best without telling them which one was geared to what code. And it came up 100% of matching. The blueprints like the blueprint the most, the actions like the actions the most. I mean, it literally was validated through a blind study that way.
And so will people be able to access the white paper if we put the URL in the show notes?
I should be able to. If not, they can contact me and I can get it for them. Yes.
Yeah, that's great.
SKYounger.com.
I'd be interested in that white paper because that's Dr. Ryan T. Howell, who's the Associate Professor of Psychology at San Francisco State University. And Sherry Tree, what's her connection?
She is the founder who created this for herself
B.A.N.K.
years ago. Yeah, when she was having trouble with sales, and she was going, how come I get all these profiles that tell me about me and nothing that tells me about my customer? And it didn't matter how many of the different, profile systems she was looking at. You just couldn't sit down with somebody and say, excuse me, do you have 30 minutes to fill out this form and then let me send it off? So she thought, I'm going to start asking questions and see what they tell me. So it was reverse engineered from day one.
Yeah.
The individuals actually told her what was important to them, and she tracked it. And in about 2006, somewhere in that range, she started working with it with the team that she was working with. And in that year, she went from a month where she had an income of $8,000, and she was going, if I want to make a lot of money, I'm going to have to make a heck of a lot more than that a month. So she thought, it's been successful for me. Why don't I teach it to my team that I'm working with? And let's see if they have success with it. That next month, she created a contest. She taught all of her people how to use this. And they just had the words on cards for themselves to put up and ask people. And that next month, her commissions were $250,000.
That's incredible. So there are questions, simple questions you can ask your client in the course of the conversation that will identify whether they are a B, an A, an N, or a K.
Well, it's like any series of questions, that discovery process.
Yeah.
It's not that there are specific questions to it, but what we teach when we teach what we call speed coding is you might sit down with somebody and say, tell me what kind of car you drive. Are you somebody who is cluttered, or is everything put away? How important is, you ask questions, and those questions start to show you the values of what's more important to you. Do you follow the rules, or are rules meant to be, and let them tell you, are they meant to be followed or broken? Broken means they're action. They're like, go, I'll bend them a bit. Followed means they're more likely blueprint, very solid citizen.
Yeah.
You start to do some of that, but a lot of it ends up coming down to, you hear it in conversation.
Now, I got this wonderful report just from the the 4.
Yes,
when you do dropping my 4 styles and getting my code, which is an ANKB,
and it's your profile.
Yeah.
It's your bank profile.
And with the interesting thing about the K, I think why I probably initially some months ago rated it less than I have now is that I see knowledge, the K, as in perpetual learning, searching for a better way, problem solving, strategic thinking. I don't think it as only make decisions on rational information. But
no.
I'm very interested in scientific validity.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that is it. They are always open to it, doing research and development.
Yeah.
And they don't want to be wrong. That is part of why they perpetually will keep learning and looking for a new solution because they can also see from A to Z. Knowledge is the one who can like look at the whole process in a heartbeat. They've got, oh, wait, you're missing a step here
Yeah.
because you didn't figure out the formula. You skipped over that one piece of information.
Well, that's big picture ability,
Yeah,
isn't
that
it?
is exactly big picture. Whereas the blueprint is tell me you have a process and tell me I can follow it.
Yeah.
Most of them don't need you to explain the process to them and want to know how it was created to double check it. They just want to know it's there.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
And that's I think
that's actually why when we teach report writing, we say if you want to give statistics and charts and graphs, put that in the appendix, because there are some styles that want it. So from DISC point of view, you've got the conscientious ones. So it sounds like it's similar to Blueprint, not exactly the same.
It crosses a couple of different things in different ways.
Yeah. But with that overlap, you only want those sort of heavy duty informational support stuff to be in the appendix, so people that go, I just want to know it's there. I don't want to delve into it. I just want to know you've done your research.
Yeah. And the knowledge then knows they can go and delve into it, and they will.
Yes.
You know, there's a lot
because there are fake statistics too.
Right. So they will go and vet those statistics to make sure they make sense to them.
Yeah.
They will read it and say, but this is missing information. What's really interesting to me is because we have an executive summary of the white paper that's beautiful and gives you the basic information. And then we have the full depth white paper. And I have given the executive summary to some knowledge people, and they're like, no, where's the rest of it?
Right. Yeah.
Whereas you give it to an action and they're like, well, that's nice to see, but I don't really, that's cool. Somebody did it. Wow.
Yeah. Don't put obstacles in my way to getting things done, because I don't need to know this stuff. I need to know.
Yeah, I need to know how fast can I get this done?
Yeah.
And what's the bottom line? And is it going to make me rich and famous? Woohoo! Let's go.
Now, in the report, it listed triggers and tripwires, which is interesting, which is likes and dislikes. And you have already mentioned a couple. Are there any other important ones that are worth mentioning?
I think it is the fact that we forget that we have all four. And sometimes we will say, I love being with my people. I like hanging out with those that are like me. And it tends to almost be disrespectful of the piece that may be your last code, so that people sometimes will think you are, in a sense, cutting them down by saying, well, that's not important to me, instead of recognizing the fact that it may not be the driving force for you. You still recognize the value and importance that have. And in looking at how we come together, be it team, family, or any other way, how do you still respectfully show up for those people so that they hear it and they feel seen and heard in the moment?
Well, I think from a manager's point of view, if they're always saying to their people, I need diversity, I need people that are not my style because that is what I lack, and that's why we are a team, is that people see the gaps in, we can't be good at everything, and we have strengths and we have areas, not necessarily weaknesses, but where we haven't got as much skill. And that's why having a diverse team means that we're all sort of picking up the gaps together, and we're seeing, well, have you noticed that this piece isn't there? That's only some people are going to see these missing pieces, and different people will see different missing pieces.
And part of it is in seeing those missing pieces, how we address them. A lot of times what you see in a group is the actions call out for the intention of, let me be recognized as the leader. And a knowledge a lot of times wants their information and their research recognized. They don't want the recognition put on themselves.
Yeah.
So there has to be a way of showcasing them in a way that you don't feel like you're forcing them to be a rock star when they don't want to be a rock star.
Oh, yes. Because that, like, if we talk about a Myers-Briggs type extrovert, introvert, some introverts are quiet thinkers and quiet achievers, and they don't want to have to sort of explain themselves in front of the whole group. And I'll tell you why sometimes my introvert comes out, because I don't want to be bombarded with questions that I feel interrogated and have to answer. And I also don't want to be seen to, I want to have an opinion, but don't be seen to not know all the answers.
I know how those things are, that at times you're thinking you're showing somebody recognition. Like, think about when there's a contest for we want everybody to do the best, and somebody decides they're going to do a contest for the team. Well, it's an action person that wants to win. They're the ones who are most likely looking for the contest. And they pick out this super exciting thing that they want to do, see, or go to as going to be their reward. And the nurturing people are going, I don't care about that. And I would have rather just had time to go be with my family or to be with a group and have fun as a party. And the knowledge is like, I wish you'd have sent me to this. I wanted to go get the research done and go to this conference where I'd be with other like-minded, smart people that I could have this conversation with. And you're going to make me go to this outing that I don't care about.
Oh, yes, like escape rooms. And I went, that's the last thing I want to go to, but some teams think that's fabulous.
Yes. So, figuring out, and the blueprint would probably just like cash, and to know that they got rewarded in a way that, and that they get that recognition for the stability and stuff. They want the gold watch at the end of the thing because they stayed the longest. And if we don't create those recognitions in a way that they feel that understand them, it may be having a contest and saying, you get to choose what you want for your reward.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. And the other thing is with competition is there's win-lose people and win-win people. Some people compete and it's okay for others to also win, whereas others, they only win if others lose.
Well, there's only one win, and that's first place, and everything else is, the second place is the first loser.
Yeah, so there's degrees in everything.
And what's interesting, Sherry, who created this, is an action. She was looking for a tool to help her speed up these things. And when you look at the code cracks that have happened across the world, we've cracked the codes of more than 250,000 people. And when you look at that, the higher percentage of them tends to be the nurturing, the caring people. Look at this and go, oh, look, this is an easy way to show others and an easy way for me to engage and understand and bring this kind of a heart of understanding.
Oh, now I never thought about that. The sort of people that are attracted to any personality style, there may be a cohort of people with similar styles.
Yeah.
Or they have, because I've got my nurturing, my N is second.
Right.
And my A is top. And then I obviously switch between the B and the K, or the K and the B.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
And if you think about it, most of us who are in an entrepreneurial or leadership role tend to have very high A and N because we have to have ability to take risk.
Right. Yes.
So a lot of them will have that A and N higher. And when you think about when you're out networking, you're not networking with the worker bees who are typically steady Eddies, ready to really just put nose to the grindstone. And most of those people really don't want to go out and have to make new friends.
Well, is that B? Is that a B?
B is very much we're here, we're happy to be here. You get some
the instructions,
really incredible,
I'll follow instructions, but don't ask me to do better what I already do well.
Yeah. And I'm quite happy right here. Things are secure. As one of my friends says, don't throw a rock in my placid pool. I like this calm environment. And that is that blueprint feeling less risk, very risk averse.
Right. That
And
would explain why I think of this ad, insurance ad. I don't know if it's in the United States. It's in Australia, where the key word is life unchanging. And this was all through COVID. I went, what? That's big at the moment.
They're going for this blueprint. They are definitely talking to that blueprint. And that's where you start to go, is that your client. It's very fun when you take somebody's marketing material and start to show them, are you talking to who you really want to connect with, or are you talking about what your product does for them?
Yeah. The thing is if I'm talking to a decision maker of a big company, they may not be exactly what's on the website. In fact, half the time they haven't looked at the website for a year. So
they don't know what's there.
You have to really gauge the person, the decision maker, not necessarily the company website. Would that be right?
And sometimes you need to address both, because they know that there is a company line of what they are expected to deliver.
Yes.
Which might be knowledge. I was talking with a gentleman from India who was representing a tech company that did a lot of medical stuff. This was during the pandemic. He had reached out to me over LinkedIn, and I looked at his profile and I was like, it's written about what I would call knowledge-based businesses. However, something about him told me he was more of an action. So I made sure that even though I acknowledged what the knowledge base of the business was, that I saw him as an action taker.
So obviously, if we get our own code and then we want to know how to adjust the language of our proposals and of our emails, is there training that we can do?
Yeah, I can go in and work with companies or teams and individuals to do that. We also have online programs that can be purchased to do that. I almost always have the AI up and running all day, because as I get a letter or I'm thinking about writing something, a proposal, I put it into the AI to see, am I writing to what I think that
write this for a blueprint, write this for an action, write this for an action.
write it and then I check to see, did I write it for them?
Right. Look, I just love learning styles, personality styles, behavioral preferences, and the fact that there is a new one that's scientifically validated, that has this real world application to connect to sales. I mean, it's a no-brainer to actually at least get your code done and then maybe take it from there. Susan, it's been a fascinating exploration into B.A.N.K code, the code breaker, and we'll have the URLs in the show notes again for people to read. It's also on YouTube. So thank you for your time today, all the way from, are you in Iowa at the moment? Oh, no, you're in Texas these days.
I'm in Dallas, Texas, yeah.
Dallas, Texas. Thank you so much.
Nina Sunday is on a mission to help leaders transform culture. To book Nina Sunday CSP to speak at your conference, visit ninasunday.com to request a proposal. Nina travels from Brisbane, Australia for in-person presentations Australia-wide. Twice certified virtual presenter, Nina Sunday presents virtually, globally, for any time zone.